Hey, what's going on? My name is Andy Monroe, co-founder of Bullish Events. And in this quick video, I'm going to be walking you through our in-person event content strategy. So the name of the video, our 8-figure IRL event content strategy. I know that's a mouthful, but I'm excited to dive in because I think this will be an absolute game changer for your in-person events and the value and the return on investment you see from your in-person events. So we have been able to generate over $10 million in direct revenue from in-person events through these three main revenue channels. That's event upsells, ticket sales, and sponsorship revenue. That being said, when you consider indirect revenue, that figure would be much, much higher. And I don't usually consider indirect revenue and indirect value when I'm talking about the revenue we've been able to generate from in-person events because it's hard to measure and it gets a little loosey-goosey on the ends. I just want to be very accurate with the numbers that we're putting on social media and putting online. But if we were to consider that indirect value and that indirect revenue, it'd be much, much higher. And most of the indirect revenue and indirect value we generate from in-person events comes through the content that we capture at these in-person events. So it's incredibly, incredibly important to have an effective and intentional content strategy in place if you are hosting in-person events for your high-ticket coaching or community-oriented business. And for every single event that we do, every in-person event that we do when we're working with a client, we follow this content strategy, which starts off with sessions. So recording sessions allows you to repurpose the content into a different offer. So let's say you're hosting a meta ads workshop and the workshop is focused around copywriting. You can use the content captured at that event, the sessions from that event, whether it's a workshop, breakout activity, keynote presentations, whatever the sessions are, you record those sessions and you can put them and you can repurpose them into a different offer. So it could be a tripwire offer, it could be a low ticket offer, it could be a high ticket offer, it could be an upsell, whatever it is, wherever it plugs into your value ladder, you can repurpose your event content into a different offer. You can also attach it onto a pre-existing offer. So if you already have a program or a community that is your key revenue driver and you just want to increase the price of that, or you want to increase the value or give yourself more leverage when you're closing on a sales call, you can just attach your event content onto that pre-existing offer. You can also use it to pull social media clips, create ads, give to attendees to further maximize their experience that they're getting from the event, as well as to build better content for future events. So you can almost treat it like game film. Like you can watch yourself and you can watch the sessions, you can watch the workshops, you can watch the breakouts, you can see what went well, what didn't go well, and you can use that to create better content in the future. Now, moving on to testimonials. I am a believer that event testimonials are the most valuable form of testimonial that you can capture because your attendees are usually in a peak state and fully immersed in your environment and your ecosystem when you are capturing the testimonial. It's much better than jumping on a Zoom call. It's much better than having them, pull out a phone camera and record a 30-second testimonial. They are in a peak state and they're going to deliver a much better testimonial when they are at your event in person with you live in real life. And what's even more convenient about events is your best clients are usually the ones that are attending your in-person events, and your most active clients, the ones that are actually trying and getting results, those are the people that are going to attend your in-person events. And when you have all those people in the room at one time, it makes it very easy to capture a testimonial from every single one so that you can you can just check that box for the entire year, basically. If you have 50 people in a room and you get a testimonial from every single one, that's more social proof than most companies have in general for their entire lifetime. And you capture that from one event in a couple of days. So it makes it incredibly convenient to capture testimonials when you host in-person events. And a pro tip for capturing good testimonials, we have captured probably over 100 testimonials at this point from in-person events. And with our testimonials, we like to create a story. So we like to paint a clear picture of the current situation. So before they started working with you, what did their life look like? What were the pain points? What were the struggles? The desired outcome, which is their now current situation. So what's their life look like now, and how did they get there? What were the checkpoints? And how is your offer, your service, your brand, how is it the vehicle that got them from that current situation to the desired outcome, which is now their current situation? So we want to just make sure that there's a story, there's a transformation being portrayed, because that's going to be the most relatable to somebody considering working with you. And that's going to be something that can get them across the line. If they can see a testimonial that they relate to and they can see themselves in that testimonial and be like, wow, if this person can achieve results, then I can too. That's right up my wheelhouse. So that's just a little sauce there for some testimonials. And moving on to B-roll. So with B-roll, you can create recap content to create FOMO and hype around the event. You can create a recap video of the event to use for future event promotion. You can also generate social media content, create ads, and elevate your branding, social proof, and authority. And finally, moving on to pictures. So with pictures, you can create ads, generate social media content, elevate your branding, social proof, and authority, have more leverage when promoting future events and offers. And I said that for both B-roll and pictures right here, the leveraging to promote future events, but that really applies to all event content. It's much easier to market an event when you have assets from an event that you've already hosted and that was successful. If you don't have any content of yourself doing an event, you don't have any pictures, you don't have any video, and you're just selling this idea of an event, it can work. Like we got it to work before back in our early days at Fun Launch, but it's just harder. So when you have this content from events, if you've done a few and you took pictures, you took videos, you can use them to create ads. You can create like a recap video and a hype video for future events. It makes it much easier to sell at events. And one thing I want to talk about real quick before we jump over into a case study is if you're hosting in-person events, I would be constantly posting on social media about the event that you're hosting to create that FOMO, like I mentioned up here, and just to show that you are doing it, that you're in the game, that you're an authority in your industry by hosting an in-person event. If you're hosting in-person events, I would be stories, reels, pictures, as much as you can posting on social media. Now, jumping over into a case study. So this is our client Fun Launch. Here at their main website, which is a very clean, very professional looking website. Let's wait for it to load. But you can see right here, the first thing you see when you come on the website is this kind of hype B-roll video of events that we have done at Fun Launch. And this is there for a reason. It's very strategic. It's because it positions them as a category king, as an industry leader. They are the ones that are hosting events, gathering people in the room, speaking on stage, getting these crazy speakers to come speak at their events. This is strategic positioning, and this is one of the main reasons why we hosted events in the first place at Fun Launch, is because we wanted to be perceived as the category kings of the industry, the people that were hosting the industry events, gathering people in the room. It's all so intentional. And this alone has generated so much indirect revenue and indirect value for the brand at Fun Launch. And moving on down here, event picture. There's another event picture right here. Moving down a little bit, these are all event pictures. This is a picture down here of Lincoln speaking at an event, so more event pictures. And then right here, event testimonial, event testimonial, event testimonial, event testimonial. So you can see the events, like the content that's being leveraged by Fun Launch on their main website is mainly event content for a reason. It's because it makes them perceived as authorities and the authority, the go-to authority in their industry. Then moving over here to Instagram, just to show you one more time. So this is Bridger's Instagram. He's the co-founder of Fun Launch, and event video, event video, event video, event video, event video, event video. Event clips and event content makes such good social media content because, again, it positions you as the authority in your industry, and people listen to people that are on stage. So if there's videos of you speaking on stage to a room of people, you're immediately perceived as an expert, as an authoritative figure, and that is incredibly valuable and very rare in today's world because of how much AI content is being generated and how much you could say, I don't want to say faking because I don't want to paint the industry as a sleazy, scammy industry. Like obviously there are some bad actors out there, but there's just a lot of people posting content, but there's not a lot of people hosting in-person events. So if you can be the one that's hosting in-person events and posting content of you speaking on stage, of you leading workshops, of you talking to attendees, you're automatically positioned as a category, maybe not a category king, but definitely an industry leader. So that's just to show you a real world example of how we have repurposed event content as a play on social media. And it's more than realistic for you to capture 6, 12, even 18 months of content at an in-person event if you do it right. That's why I say it's incredibly important to have a content strategy in place when you're hosting in-person events so that you can make the most out of it. So just to review, we record sessions, we capture testimonials, we capture B-roll, and we take pictures when we do in-person events. These are the 4 pillars that we check off with every single client when we're doing an event with them. So if you are hosting in-person events, I would strongly recommend that you have an intentional content strategy in place, and that you do record your sessions, you capture testimonials, you capture B-roll, you take pictures, and you make the most out of hosting an in-person event. Yes, the revenue is nice. The direct revenue through event sales, ticket sales, and sponsorships are nice. But you can generate so much more indirect revenue and so much more indirect value by leveraging and repurposing event content. Now, that's all I got for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.